Hey, how's it going? Um, it's Friday, April 12th. It is 11:02. I am just wrapping up a workout, and I wanted to just chat for a bit because I feel like I haven't in a while. Um, I guess I'll start with why I haven't chatted to myself in a while. Just because I haven't really felt the need to, honestly. Usually, whenever I talk about something, it's something really relevant and something that may have just happened or I just thought about or something I'm going through. And honestly, things have been very calm recently, knock on wood, obviously. Right now, I'm in a bit of a mini rut, I guess you could say, where I just neglected the health side of my routine for 3 days. And when you do that, it kind of takes a toll on your mindset and stuff like that. So getting back in the swing of things, I'm not too worried about it, but it hasn't affected anything else, fortunately, besides like my overall, I guess, mood. I'm definitely not as pumped to get up in these last couple of days, but we're getting back on track, so that's what's important. And besides that, yeah, everything's been pretty calm. Like these last 2-ish months, it's just been like a straight line. Not really ups or downs or dips and whatever. There have been days where I've been frustrated, yes, days where I've been upset and disappointed, but they've never stopped me. I guess like they used to, or maybe they can for most people. Like usually when someone gets upset or I was the same way. I am the same way. Usually when you get upset or frustrated, it demotivates you, or I don't know if that's unmotivate, whatever. It pisses you off, right? And you want to say, fuck it, I'm going to take a break or I'm going to stop. But it hasn't done that, fortunately, so that's why it's just been like a straight line. Despite my shifts and my attitude towards my work, whether I think it's amazing, whether I think it's not so good, and whether I think my output is great one day, whether I think it's bad the other, it hasn't changed my movement, I guess, is a good way of putting it. So, yeah, things have been pretty calm, and that's why I haven't really felt the need to talk about anything. Yeah, I guess the only thing I would want to talk about is just how things have been going, kind of update. So, like I said, things have been pretty standard. Nothing is making me like jump in the air like, yeah, I did it, but nothing's also putting me down, so it's good. Okay, hold on, I have to, 1 second. My brother and his fiance came to visit from Saskatchewan. They came to stay for like a week and a half just to celebrate with some family and friends about their engagement, which is, a whole nother thing of its own. It's crazy that the time has come that they're engaged now and soon going to start looking to make a family or start a family. Making a family sounds really fucked up, but start a family. And I never thought that day would come, let alone my brother being 30 years old, but it has come, and I don't want to think about the future. Anyways, it's exciting. It's very exciting, and they just came to visit, and we were chatting for a bit, and they were like, hey, like, what's your schedule look like? What do you do in a day? And, how much work are you getting done? How much do you balance, like, work and health? They weren't asking to put pressure on me. They were just asking out of curiosity, and I told them what I do in a day, and my brother said it straight, and I completely agree, and this is something I obviously have known, is that I need to, if I want to get to where I want to be, I should be doing at least 10 hours of work a day. we're trying to hit that benchmark every day. And I guess I could say I try every day, but there's room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. And, I do a good amount. I do enough to get things done right now, but I'm not doing above and beyond. I guess it's hard to explain because when you're kind of fucked up like I am, you never think you're doing enough. Nothing's ever good enough. It'll never be good enough. And it doesn't matter if I do hit 10 days and in the same day I manage to get a workout and a run in. It doesn't matter about any of that. It'll never be good enough for me. Because as soon as I get there, I'll think of things I can do next. What's the next step, right? And I'm grateful for that part of me that's always looking to improve. Because the sad truth is not everyone has that part of them that tells them what to do next or helps them get up. Or not everyone has that part that's looking to be great. Most people just want to have a good life and be happy. And yeah, I do too, but I want to be great. And it's just when you have that kind of attitude towards yourself, you will always be disappointed with how much you do in a day unless you do not spend a single minute of it wasting any time, I think the days I feel the happiest and most complete are the days that I'm completely full. Like I don't spend a second on my phone. I don't spend a minute of it taking a break. I go and I don't think about what's next or what's to come. I just do. And I just do and I do. And the day feels a lot longer because of it. And I feel a lot more complete. That to me is a great day, but it doesn't always happen. Some days I need breaks and some days I crack a bit and stuff like that. And, like I said, when you're fucked up like I am, you just don't think you're doing enough, regardless of how much you actually may be doing in comparison to other people. But then it gets to the point where it's like, well, how much should I be comparing myself? Because if I'm doing more than the typical person or some people that I may compare myself to or whatnot, should I stop there? Because I'm already doing more than them, should that be enough? Obviously, I think no. I think you compare yourself to push yourself to a point where you're with them, you're standing with those people that you compare yourself to, and then you stop comparing yourself when you want to go beyond, and you just start focusing on yourself. So, there's always a part of you that should be focusing on yourself, like, yeah, replicating someone else's life and what they do or what you think they do will get you far, but it only gets you so far, and then the reality hits you that you're different and you're your own person, and you need to adapt and make changes of that lifestyle or your routine or what you think you should be doing and how you should be learning and targeting your growth in certain ways, in different ways, depending on you. Because again, you're a different person. So there should always be a part of you that's focusing on yourself. But yeah, like I said, you compare yourself when you want to catch up, and then you push yourself beyond when you want to stand out. So, just because I do X amount of hours in a day, does that mean, and I know for a fact, when I look around me and see the people, see the people at my level and my age doing the same or less, is that a good point to stop and say, well, in the future it'll get better, in the future I'll do more? No, it's not how it should be at all. It should be, okay, I am doing the amount that everyone else is doing. Now it's time to push myself beyond. So that's when you close your eyes, you stop comparing yourself, and you go further. And the point I'm trying to get to, my brother, like I said, he said, look, you should be doing 10 hours a day. And he's saying that, he's not saying that because, he's not saying I'm not doing enough. He's saying that because it doesn't, he's saying that in the sense that it doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. If you want to get to where you want to be, you need to do this. And that's the attitude I've had. Obviously, this is not like a revelation where I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I never thought of it like this. Obviously, I think about this every day, but, it's just, I guess in a way, it just kind of slaps all the excuses out of my mind, because hearing it from someone else means that it's real, and I guess not realistic, but I'm not delusional or thinking of the impossible, in the sense that I can't, I want to hit 10 hours, but I can't. I just don't have that much time in the day. No, I do have that much time in the day, and there are people that are doing that. And, hearing it from my brother is that reassurance, like, hey, this is reality. Like, you can get 10 hours. So start doing it. It's not like one of the, it kind of pushes away the mindset of, oh, I'm doing 6 hours or whatever. And it's like, I want to do 10 hours, but is that even realistic? Like, it just pushed that attitude aside and says, no, get it done. Yeah, so the point of all of this, like, why is this such an important talking point? Like, why would I even bring this up? It's because when I was thinking about it earlier, and this is kind of like, I've always known this because this is part of the pressure that or part of the side of me that gets me up and gives me the motivation to keep going and try to be better every day is, it's like this pressure. It's not a bad pressure. It's a good kind of pressure. Maybe maybe it's not healthy of me to think of it this way. Maybe it's not right that I put this timeline on myself. But the pressure is, there is a window of opportunity. And it's this window of greatness that I can slide into, or anyone can slide into. There is a level that people in my skill set and my age are hitting in terms of how much they're willing to do, how far they're willing to go. And there's a window of opportunity between now or maybe even 2 or a year ago to maybe, let's say, in 2 more years, where people start to take the work that they do more seriously, and they start to dive more into that lifestyle and fill their entire day with that work and the window of opportunity is that there's a chance to be greater than everyone right now. There's a chance to do more than everyone, to be willing to do more than everyone right now. And if I could slide into that now, if anyone slides into that now, pushing themselves to the 10 hours, getting themselves to get in a healthy lifestyle and healthy work routine and whatnot, and breaking, I guess, the boundaries of themselves at this early in their career and this early of a stage in their life, think of how far ahead you can get in 2 years. Because once the 2 years pass, then everyone will start to go through those periods where they're more committed and willing to do the 10 hours, and they start to take their health more seriously and stuff like that. Now, look, I'm not saying, I don't want health to be a competition. That's not the point. That's not it at all. But the competitive part about it is how you, I guess, sharpen your mind. So when I talk about, like, oh, I want to get ahead and be first to like think about my health and stuff like that. First of all, I'm not. The reality is, first of all, I'm not. But I'm saying that in the sense that I want to be the first to be sharp. I want to be the first to have no boundaries. And the window of opportunity, like I said before, is that 2-year span. Or at least I'm going to say it's 2 years. It might even be shorter. But the longer, there's only so much time I have to separate myself. That's the point I'm trying to get at. There's only so much time I have to get ahead before everyone else starts to do the same thing again. Before the level goes up and everyone's just following the level. And it hurts me. And this is the part that, going back to how I'm fucked up, this is the part that kills me and makes me disappointed. This is the part where I'm never good enough. This is the part where when you're fucked up like I am, you never think you're doing enough because you see that window, and that window is what you chase. It's that version of yourself that's like the best it can be. The version of yourself that does every single thing right, makes every good decision for themselves. And every time you slip even a little bit, you just feel like you didn't do as much as you can. And the truth is you didn't. The truth is, and the hard reality is for people to face, you did not do enough. So, yes, I can get 10 hours a day, and I should be getting 10 hours a day. And I could sit here and say I will, but I'll believe it when I see it. So, like don't get me wrong, and I'm not talking 10 hours with breaks and stuff like that. I think a lot of something that frustrates me, something that really pisses me off when I hear people talk about how much they work, is they'll say, oh, I did, I'm going to be so busy, I have 13-hour days coming up. And I just can't help but laugh because, we both know you're not working 13 hours straight. You're taking breaks, you're scrolling on your phone, you're not focused. When I talk about how much work I do, I'm talking strictly focused work. I stop the timer every time I'm distracted. I stop the timer every time I get up to go eat something. I stop the timer every time I go to the washroom. It doesn't matter. Anytime I'm not spending completely engulfed in my work, completely separated from the world, that is time I do not count. So, if someone, for an average person, for anyone, starting work at, let's say, 1 o'clock and going until 9, you'll get 6 hours of work. And that's what people don't realize. Is they say, oh, I did 9 hours of work today. I did my 9-hour shift. Yeah, but you only worked for 6 of those hours. Let's be honest. Don't lie to yourself. So I think people are too easy on themselves. People are way too soft in the sense that they say, oh, I did let me pat myself on the back. I did 9 hours of work. No, you didn't. No, you did 6. Probably even less, to be honest. Let's be real here. The amount of people that I've talked to that say how much work they do, and then the first ones I see the posts and stuff like that on Instagram, sure, you're on, yeah, I doubt that shit. They're phone goblins, bro. They're like phone dwellers. Let me take a be real of me studying. So productive. Sure. Well, that's honestly it. I just wanted to talk about like this kind of window of opportunity that everyone has, especially now. And there will be a time where, like, I think as everyone kind of steps their game up, there will always be a new window of opportunity. So, for now, I think, but I will say, I think the window of opportunity is the easiest to catch at this stage. Or maybe I'm thinking, maybe not because everyone's so young and has so much time that maybe it's not. And when everyone becomes adults and gets more, has more obligations and commitments, maybe it'll be easier then to separate yourself. But there will always be a window of opportunity, and the sooner you can slide into that window and catch it and ride it as long as you can, the further ahead you'll get. While I do think, what was I gonna say? Holy shit. While I do think that there will always be a chance to be at 1%, it doesn't start as soon as you start. You know what I mean? You don't get that title, or I guess you don't see the separation once you start. It takes years of work. So time is finite. We don't have infinite time to live. You have to ask yourself, how do I want to live my life? Do I want to be great? Or do I want to be happy? And for some people, greatness is happiness. They just have that in them, and they need to push themselves to it in order to be happy. That's the only way, right? And I'd argue most people feel that way, where they feel like they have a bigger purpose that they need to fulfill in order to be happy. But so many people just settle for less. So you need to ask yourself, like, what really makes me happy? Am I willing to take it in this one life that I have? Am I willing to see it through? How do I want to see myself? What's the version of myself I want to be in the future? Do I want to be the person that says, oh, I could have done this? Had this and this happened, I could have done it? Or would you want to be the person living in the world that you built? And you could say, hey, I did it. There's nothing wrong. I don't want people to think that it has to be that way. There's nothing wrong. If everyone's great, then no one's great. Not everyone could be a star. And not everyone has what it takes to be a star, unfortunately. But and that kind of bounces back to my point of falling into that window, because if I'm just doing enough, then I'm not going to get anything more. But if someone said, hey, my happiness and the way I see my future is with a family and a healthy life, and passing things on to the next generation, that is a very noble thing, and it's nothing to be ashamed of, obviously. Then that's perfectly fine. You just need to know what you want, because you can't have both. You can't have both. If you want to be someone that's great, well, greatness is gonna put a lot of stress on a relationship or a family. It can work, but you have to really give it all. You have to do everything in your power to make that happen. And my parents did as much as they can. They're obviously my parents. I love them dearly, but I wouldn't say they're I wouldn't say they shine in greatness, you know? They did what they wanted to do. They made a family and they worked their ass off all the same to get this far, to give me the opportunity to shine, to give me the opportunity to be great. So I could carry that on and then pass it to the next generation and hope that the next generation passes it to the next and the next. But I think I want to stop here, and I think I want to be great. And I think I have what it takes. So for me, the way I want to see myself is someone, hold on. I want to be someone that has nothing but what they love, loses themselves in what they do. And I know that comes with a whole different topic of discussion in terms of sacrifice and whatnot and losing connection and so on and so forth. But I want to say that yes, like you need to know what you want, because if you can't have both. If you want to, for you being happy is starting a family, spending time with friends, and having a balanced life, that's perfectly fine. But if you're teetering on both sides and you say, well, I want both, you can't have it. I'm sorry, you cannot have it. You know, you'll put a lot of stress on the relationship, a lot of stress on the family. And like I said before, there will be someone out there who decided to go all in on this one side, and he's separating himself from you. So regardless of how much you think you're doing, you know, how much time you're spending tending to the family, tending to the kids, taking care of your relationship with your wife or your fiance or whatever, or your girlfriend or whatever it is, there's someone out there that doesn't have any of those obligations, that decided to make the choice to do nothing but what they want, and they're running and you're jogging. So, you know, just choose what you want. You need to be wise about it. Anyways, and back to loop it all together, they have found that window of opportunity. At that next stage where everyone's making families, they found the window to be different in the sense that they didn't make a family. They didn't go down the traditional route, and they decided to go and pursue the journey that'll maybe take them to greater heights with what they achieve. Not that family's a small achievement. Everything's a great achievement in its own right. And starting a family is one of an entirely different caliber, but it's something you can't compare, obviously, to career achievements. But, like I said, it's just what you want. Anyways, that's it. I have nothing else to say about this. I can ramble and make less sense than I already did, but it's time to move on. Okay, cool. Ciao, guys.